Welcome in. This is G Forte, and this is morning edition number 227. I'm gonna have to say that again for the people in the back. All right, this is Morning Journal session 227. I am your host, G Forte. Thank you so much for being here. Morning Journal is live every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you've been here before, you know what's about to happen. We have some prompts. We got some folks in the VIP who've warmed up in here for about half an hour, answering some questions and getting cozy. And I'm glad to have you here now as you're listening back, or if you're listening and watching live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, wherever you happen to be seeing. Thank you for being here. If you're listening to Spotify and Apple Podcasts, thank you so much. I want you to sit back and enjoy this experience. Maybe get some chores done, or, kind of sit back and kick it. Or if you want to lean in and engage with the prompts, feel free. If something comes up that you want to take note of, I invite you to check out the Morning Journal newsletter. That's a great way to get the prompts. And if you want to join us live in the VIP, you can see the link there in your show notes. So today, we're going to be talking about, I guess the theme for the week, more or less, is kind of working our way towards getting a handle on procrastination. Yesterday, we started looking at ourselves and the people around us, the systems that support us as we get ready to move into what the possibilities of the things we want to create, the way those things unfold for us. Today, we're going to start honing in on some habits and stuff like that. So the first prompt is, I'm not very good at blank, but I am committed to getting better. So let's see what the VIPs have to say about that. Rebecca says clearly, I'm not very good at keeping things to myself, especially around people that I'm comfortable with. I just need to shut up sometimes. Got to keep that air of mystery. I'm working on it though. Yeah, I guess sometimes it is, we get real comfortable. Oh, it's just us. It's just amongst friends. But I know how beguiling you are and charming you are. It doesn't take away from that. Rebecca's like, darling, I have to keep some things to myself. You can't let them know everything. Dorf, Leo the friend, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Leo the friend says, I'm not very good at streaming, but I'm committed to getting better at streaming and to try to get better at it. I'm not very good now. It just takes practice. So let us know, Leo the friend, where do you stream? Where do you stream, and like what's your subject matter? Because I think that one of the things that is true for a lot of people in streaming is, for a while, you're going to be streaming into the void. You're going to be streaming into the void. You got to get comfortable at talking to yourself. All right. Trying to make a schedule, but I do Twitch, YouTube, and Spoon. Okay. So J-Man says, I'm not very good at putting myself out there. Okay. But you're committed to getting better at it? So why not, J-Man? You cool. I do get it though, because sometimes it feels a little icky. Okay. Sometimes it does feel a little icky, but think of it this way. You have something valuable to share, and you can help people with what you have. So by not putting yourself out there, you are, causing harm to people who would benefit from what you have to share. So, think of it that way, People need what you have. So help us find it. Thank you so much for the likes and keeping those coming in. All right. Jehovah Thickness says, I'm not very good at being quiet, but it's a progress. It's a process too, probably. I just love talking. Well, I think that there are certain situations where it's good to enjoy talking. Like streaming, for example, right? Blanjou says, eating better because I haven't been eating a lot. My eating is crap. I need to nourish my body because it's the temple of God. Also sleeping too. So some of the basics of living, eating, sleeping, eating well, sleeping well. Miss says, I'm only halfway here. I mean, it's early. Sometimes it takes a while to warm up. So let's see what Dorothy Dorf has to say. I'm not good at letting others help me, but I'm getting better. I'm not good at letting others help me, but I'm getting better. Asking for help is definitely a thing that a lot of us struggle with. I know myself included. Being willing to let go and others operate in their gifts on your behalf is something that's, takes some time to get comfortable with. But I'm glad that you're working on it. I am too. So Manatee says, I'm not very good at having confidence or a good attitude sometimes, but I am committed to getting better. You don't have a confidence and a good attitude sometimes, but getting better. So I like the sometimes. I like that. That's a very mature way of looking at it because we're never all the time, whether it's good or bad. We all have our moments. So, yeah. So just to gradually get a little bit better. Uh-oh, Mrs. Paycheck done hit. Man, this has been a lot of financial blessings in the chat today. Oh, man. So that unbreakable laser focus, that is not something that you are very good at, but committed to getting better. There we go. Welcome back, Leo the friend. Manatee, thank you so much for the like. I appreciate you. So Mez says, I'm not very good at having patience for myself and not just for others. I think there are a lot of cases where we are more generous towards others than we are towards ourselves. And I think in general, we should have a high standard for ourselves. But, sometimes you got to give yourself a break, right? Yeah, we want to do the best we can, but also give ourselves some grace. Bugs Forbes, welcome in. It's nice to have you here this morning. All right. Let me see what we have here. Did I get everyone's reply? Yes, I did. Okay. So acknowledging where we are and then taking the next step to make a commitment to getting a little bit better. Understanding that better is possible. I know I had penned a podcast called Better. So understanding that better is possible. We get better. That's the part that we can control, that commitment to getting better. So if we're ready, you can just drop a heart in the chat and we can get ready to go to the next prompt. All right, let's see here. Okay. So we talked about getting better. And I think sometimes we feel like there's a limit, and there is. There's a ceiling, but I think a lot of times our limitations are kind of self-imposed. They don't have anything to do with any true fact about our capacity. They're just things that we are holding ourselves back from. So you have some instinct that there is that you're playing a little bit smaller than you could. There's something in you that says that, you know what, I could probably have more, be better in some way. Man, it's like mental prison. Yeah, it's like, what are some of the self-imposed limitations that you're ready to challenge? Now, you might get out there and realize that, oh no, I'm not really there yet. But are you at least willing? You are at least willing to challenge some limits and test it out, not just take it at face value. Because I think what happens is we underestimate our growth. We underestimate the way that our life kind of gifts us new ability as we overcome things. Similar to the question we come to from time to time about what's possible for you now that would not have been possible 3 years ago. It could be that there are limits that stood in your way before that now. It could be the case that you can move past it. Maybe not. Maybe it's still a wall that you're not quite ready to climb or scale. But it's worth testing out because, sometimes our limits expire. Sometimes the sentence is over and we're still sitting there, not saying anything. All right. So here's one. It is St. Patrick's Day coming up. Jehovah Witness says, how much liquor can I drink on St. Patrick's Day? I'm gonna test that one out. Let me see how much liquor I can drink. The mute boy is 20. That's good to know. Dorfy Dorf says, I'm ready to challenge myself on no more spending of money willy-nilly. I need to become more financially literate and spend less time in Wally World. Stay out of that wallet. Oh man, gotta stay out of that wallet. Flocka J, what's happening? It's good to see you. All right. Blanjou says, the self-imposed limit. I could never write a book because no one cares what I have to say. I feel like I could try, but I don't know if people would read a book called Into the Storm Found with a Rainbow. We don't know if someone would read a book called that. Are you ready to challenge that belief? by sitting down and writing it. Rebecca Miss Quick, thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate them. So here's there's an interesting there's a little bit of a disconnect that I want to point out in the way that you share this, right? You said, I can never write a book because no one cares what I have to say. You've made a connection between what other people care about and what you could do, right? And I don't think that's necessarily, those things are dependent upon each other. Writing a book is in your control, right? Having people care about it, that's another matter altogether. But if you can't write it, there's nothing there for anyone to care or not care about. So, Rebecca says, I feel like I give myself limits for a reason. Yeah, I think we all do. But I guess the question is, are those reasons still valid? Because I think sometimes we set ourselves up and we don't check back in to see if the limits and the boundaries that we set are necessary or helpful. I think, things run their course. They serve their purpose. And sometimes we keep them around longer than we need to. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. And we are still locked in trying to protect something that doesn't need protecting. So for J-Man, it's not letting the regrets and mistakes of my past get in the way of my journey to the new me. So J-Man likes to time travel, head on back, and see if I can find a reason not to, based on who I've been before. Dorothy Doe says, thanks for being here, G. It helps getting up at 5 a.m. and knowing that someone's here. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that's why that's why I'm here. That's why we're here. It's going to be some folks. You're going to be able to come in and try to find yourself in a good place to start your day. All right. So for Ms., the limits are for your creative side. Just got to let loose and not fear judgment. Yeah, the fear of judgment. So that's the thing. That's the thing about judgment. People can pass judgment on what you make and even on who you are. But you're the one who has to impose the sentence. They can't do nothing to you. They don't have any real power. So they can pass a judgment, but you are the one who has to enforce the sentence. You don't have to receive it. You can take something from it as a way to grow. It's information, it's useful information, but it doesn't have to be something that shuts you down. So that's why no matter where the judgment is coming from, the limit is self-imposed, except in the case of, if you involve with the state somehow, there are systems outside that take away your freedom for various reasons, but that's not what we're talking about here. So, yeah. So Manatee says, becoming a people person and more outgoing in general, that's a limitation. I want to challenge that. Maybe I want to be a little bit more engaging and making connections with people. Yeah. J-Man says, I'm a breathing time machine. Rebecca says, "You look nice today, G. I'm gonna buy you a big boy cup, like a Yeti. Your little cup is cute, though." Oh, man. Vibe Face is here. Welcome, man. It's good to have you this morning. If we are ready to move along to the next prompt, I'm happy to do so. Miss, thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. So in the next part of the conversation, we're going to take a second to kind of turn the prompt on its head a little bit. So sometimes our problem is that we are being held back by limits that we're placing on ourselves. And that can be sort of a catalyst for not following through, for procrastinating and putting things off because we don't believe it's possible for us or right for us. But the other side of that is sometimes the things that we are trying to create, they are so boundless that we can't wrap our heads around it. It's not clear what we're doing. We need a frame to put it in. We need something to contain it because it's just kind of all over the place and we don't know where to start and what to do. So, constraints. So these are the voluntary limits that help you get started. Is there a way that you can approach something that makes it approachable and more likely that you can follow through with it? So I know like J-Man is on this fitness journey right now. And I'm pretty sure you didn't just first day slap 3 plates on both sides and just, work to failure. There is a protocol. There's a natural building and growing. So how am I going to do what's enough to do to not burn out and be able to keep going? What's the sort of the effective dosage of what it is that I'm trying to do? How much is like enough for today? What am I not going to do? What am I not going to include? So these are the limits that we are embracing. So, Miss says, time. I'm going to be more aware of, I guess, the inherent time that a task requires. And yeah, there's some things that, most things, we have this illusion that we can speed some things up that we can't. The natural world is full of lessons and examples of what is required for a thing to happen. And we can manipulate it a little bit. We have technology that gives us the ability to shorten the cycle of certain things. But the seasons are the seasons. The time that it takes a seed to grow is the time that it takes. And our efforts to speed it up undermine the growth itself. So the constraint of time, recognizing that I'm just going to allow the time that's required and I'm just going to be present with this task to get it done. Dorfy Dorf is smoking crack early in the morning. Dorfy Dorf is hitting that pipe. So knowing, Jehovah Thickness says, knowing that I can write all my feelings out on a piece of paper and then burning it and watching the pretty fire. So there's something beautiful about that. I think feelings are a great thing to burn on paper, to get it out of you, and there's a ritual involved, sort of a clearing ritual of going through that process. I can definitely appreciate that. And I think a piece of paper, yeah, it's like a sacrifice. It's a piece of paper, so it's not like you're not writing a whole book. There's an impermanence to it, and I think it symbolically recognizes the impermanence of many of the things that we feel, because they're going to burn through us and move through us, right? You're not always going to feel that way. So if there's something that you need to let go of, I think that's a really powerful and powerful image. So Dorothy wants to spend more time reading financial literacy, self-help books, and learning about the stock market and how to be a better me. So you're going to read more, spend more time reading about these specific things. I guess at the exclusion of what? Because the constraint part comes into, I guess, as opposed to doing other things, you're going to focus time and set aside time for this. The free time that you have, you're going to block off to explore these subjects. So J-Man says, I'm willing to accept rest days even when I want to work out so I don't injure myself. That's a perfect example. It's a perfect example, you know. You don't want to go so hard that it puts you out of the game. For so many games, the name of the game is to continue to be able to play the game. Set aside what leisure time I have for study time and self-growth. So yeah, installing a habit and a program for the time that you have at your discretion. So someone says, what's at the end of everything? What's at the end of everything? That's a question that I don't know has any relevance to this conversation, but it's interesting. What's at the end of everything? Well, nothing, I would assume. Nothing is at the end of everything. All right. All right, folks, we are coming close to the top of the hour, and we're going to have a little bit of doing a little ad break, a little promo break. I can't talk this morning. Thank y'all so much for being here. This is Morning Journal, and this is session number 227. We are live every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern time. Right here. The VIP start at 6 a.m. and we usually catch everyone else around 6:30. So if you want to be here for the live experience, I invite you to join us because it's fun in here. It's fun, and also some great folks that you get to meet. So, live is where it's at. You can find the link in the description or the show notes where you happen to be listening right now. Also, let me say thanks to everyone who is subscribed to the Morning Journal newsletter. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that. I think it's a great way to stay connected. You have an opportunity to meet some good folks. No, you don't. You ain't gonna meet nobody in the newsletter. I'm tripping. You have an opportunity to get prompts in your inbox every day. How about that part? Already said to meet good folks. That happens here in the VIP. But getting the prompts in your inbox in the morning or sometime during the day is a cool way to kind of stay connected when you don't have the whole 2 hours, an hour and a half to spend and listen. You can get it right in your inbox. And I think that's a great thing. Finally, let me say this, specifically to the folks in the VIP. Thank you for helping us reach our weekly goal for the promotions that are happening on Spoon in the month of March. We got 2 weeks in the bag. The next round of promotions will start tomorrow. So if y'all got rounds in the chamber, you're trying to show a lot of support, we're going to wrap right back up tomorrow. But for now, I just want to say thanks to everyone for just being here. So, yeah, if we are ready, I know I stopped the music for this part because I have to do an edit in post, and it would be easier for me to find a spot slot by doing it this way. So, yeah, that's it. Enough about me. Let's talk about you. We can get ready to go into the next prompt. And this one is fun because I think this one is one of the most powerful ways for us to try to build some momentum. So the question is, what streak are you currently on? It's two parts. What streak are you currently on? And what streak would you like to start? So there might be something that you've started to build a little bit of momentum, and now it's a little bit easier to do it than it is to not do it. And you're starting to see some of the results. Or maybe you recognize there's some foundational things that I need. And in order for me to get there, I need to get a streak going. So here we go. Mo is here. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about streaks right now. What streak are you currently on? And what streak would you like to start? Something that you think would make your life a little bit better. So let's shout out the folks who happened to swing through while I was talking about what was going on. First and foremost, let's shout out all of our VIP, super VIP subscribers. Purple Gang in the house. So we got Mo and Laney. We got Miss and Tree. We got Rebecca and Mesquick. We got Tim. Purple Gang representing Deep. We also have Quasha, J-Man, Warrior, Dorfy Dorf, Jehovah Thickness, Blanche. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here on this beautiful Tuesday morning for session number 227 of the Morning Journal. Right now, we're talking about those streaks. Are we on a winning streak? I don't know, maybe it's a losing streak. I don't know. Sometimes we on a losing streak. We're having a tough go of it. So what streak are you currently on? And maybe there's one you want to start. Mo's like, I'm on a naked streak. I do miss those updates for Mo. I miss the raccoon profile pics because it was a very easy joke to comment on a naked raccoon in the chat because you would often be like getting showered and getting ready for work. But now it's we talk about you being naked because you're human in your profile pic. So it just seems like it's a different vibe. And like even tree, like we get there, shower, there'd be a little picture of a tree in the shower, and it's cool. But if we're talking about tree the person, then it's different. It's weird. So not to be weird, but yours is weirdly calming. Well, I appreciate it. That's not a weird thing to say. I've heard weirder things. I'm glad that you are. I hope that you enjoy it. So let's see what kind of streak. So is this to the last question or the so are you on a streak of being better prepared? Are you setting yourself up to win these days? I love it. That's awesome. I'm glad to see that you're setting yourself up better. I don't have a good streak. I have a list of things that I know are makes my day better if I do the things that are on this list. And I don't have a very good track record lately of adhering to that. I do have, I have someone to help try to keep me accountable to that list. But I'm not on a great streak. And, sometimes you got to give yourself a little bit of grace, because if it's a lot of things out of your control, you might want to simplify it a little bit and get your mind around mastering one part of it and locking that in. I think a lot of times we set ourselves up by making it too complicated to follow through on. So I guess the most significant streak is the one that we are in right now. Okay, Mo came back so we can picture Mo naked, because there you go. There we go. I feel much more comfortable with that. Quasha, thank you so much for the encouragement. All right. Dorfy Dorf. I'm on a bad luck streak where everything I do falls apart. This is not me. I must change this and not let life roll me around. I will start a streak of accomplishment and fulfillment. Miss Hippie, what's happening? It's good to see you. Oh, I just saw you over here. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Joe thinks this is going to throw snacks at the raccoon. Some fruit snacks, some gummy bears, and then crunchy stuff. All right. So, Jehovah Thickness says, my current streak is constantly posting and promoting and editing. Hopefully, I can be consistent with this. Posting, promoting, and editing, that's a great streak to be on. All right. All right, here we go. J-Man says, the streak I am on is my workout. The streak I'd like to start is a creative one, a creative streak. Okay. A creative streak. I wonder in what area. I know you stream and I know you play Magic, and I know you buff J-Man. You got some merch. Like I know bits and pieces, but I'd love to know exactly what it is that you want to build and what you want to create. Sort of the longer term thing that you're building towards. Master Shake, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Okay. Someone anonymously says that a streak I need to try and get rid of is the no exercise streak. I don't know how, but I'll try and get a streak. I want to get on this loving tree deeply and passionately. What? Wait, what? Wait a minute. I guess I didn't read this all the way through before I shared it. What's going on here? I don't know. Say, let me read that again. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. This is I'll give you a second. All you got to do is hit the little, hit the mailbox. You can read it again yourself. Somebody screenshot it. You want to screenshot it? I don't know. I like the way that they kind of hid that in. Yeah. Tree's like, I'm a married woman. You can't be scandalizing me like that. Yeah. All right. So, streak for Miss. My crush gives me joy every day. I don't know how they do it so easily, but I want to be better about not wasting that energy. Don't waste that joy. All right. So, Tim has a streak. Waking up early and working out. Next up, it's getting some rest. So a streak of waking up and working out to start the day. Next, we got to think about how we're going to get some rest. Hi, Samantha. It's good to have you here this morning. Thanks for joining us. Welcome in, Tommy. We're talking about the streaks that we are on. I think streaks are really powerful in that once we get one going, it kind of creates some momentum and it makes it like take some decisions off the table. I think our routines, they provide the support and structure for the things that we want to master, for ways that we want to be more creative. That creativity kind of emerges from the structure that we set by showing up for it. Not doing anything like it's not about being able to sit down and make something happen exactly the way you like. It's the showing up part. It's that discipline that kind of creates the mental space that allows the creativity to kind of emerge out of that environment. And it'll be a battle, but if you've already decided and you don't have to fight with yourself to do it anymore, I think there's an inevitability of growth, at least. If you don't get exactly what you were trying to create, the fact is that your consistency in that streak is going to make it more likely that eventually you'll be able to create something and become something that you had not even imagined before. So, talking about these streaks, Tree says, I've been on a little sleep streak. I like to get back on a good sleep schedule. I probably had 4 hours total in the last 2 days. That's no good. I know that you used to come in here and go to sleep, right? I would expect you to drift off at some point during the stream. But I don't know, maybe you came in too late and maybe we too hyped for you this morning. But the vibes are pretty peaceful. I'll say that. So, Mez is on a gummy bear eating streak. I wonder what that is doing for the state of your dental health. So Rebecca says, definitely on a winning streak. But there was a time when I would stop to enjoy little things. Now I feel like I'm just on autopilot. I would like to get back to experiencing and enjoying. It's like, yeah, I gotta take a moment to acknowledge. It's like, I'm winning today. That's what my mom always used to say. It was like, whenever we games, it was like, I'm winning today. I'm winning today. Yeah, if you're winning, notice that you're winning. I mean, I think another thing that's really powerful is if we can kind of create a visual representation of our streak. If we can have it in front of us so that we could see it, it's an even more powerful signal. That's one of the reasons why I started numbering the shows, because it's evidence of the streak. So if there's a way that you can start putting an X on the calendar every time you do a thing, or find some way to document it, it can give you a lot of confidence, because that can't be taken away from you, because you're like, look, I did this thing. I showed up for this all these times. I got this. I'm building this monument, this body of evidence. That's kind of proof of what I'm capable of. And I think the insight worth considering is that it doesn't necessarily get easier, but it does get harder not to. There's sometimes it's not necessarily going to be easier, but not doing it just gets harder. So you can just kind of keep going, right? So Miss Hippie says, my streak is flying solo and learning about myself and being independent more than ever. The streak I want is continued humbleness and forgiving myself. Hey, Rachel is here. Hi, Rachel. It's good to see you this morning. So Rebecca is going to use the advice of visual representations. It's one of those things. I think we talk about how powerful our environment is in supporting the things that we want to do and create. So by placing things in our environment as a reminder and keeping them in front of us, it's a great way to support that. So the streak that you're on, so someone anonymously says, I'm on night shift right now. I'm on night shift at the moment, and I'm listening to this to go to sleep. I'll take it. That's valid. Tree wants to drink Rachel's PFP. Everybody go ahead and put some hearts, green hearts in the chat. Retha is here. So streaks that we are starting, or streaks that we want to start. So there's a commitment, right? Okay, sorry about that. We're back, right? So streaks to start, streaks that we want to start. All right. Rachel, thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. Are we, if we're ready, we can go to the next prompt. I'm happy to do that if you are good with this one. I appreciate everyone sharing where you are right now and the momentum that you are building that can help you find yourself where you want to be. One of the beautiful things about streaks, I guess I'll say again, is they kind of create space because it's one less decision that you have to make. Tree, thank you so much for the spoons. Wow. Wow, I love those. Those are cute. I love those. Thank you. So let's go to the next prompt. Another. This is another fill in the blank prompt. I had a hunch that blank. Hey, thank you, Tree. I really appreciate it. Thanks. Thanks for the spoons. All right, y'all don't get too crazy in here. Don't get too crazy in here. We gotta spread that love out over the whole month. So don't get too crazy. So hunch. Vaughn Bachim, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. So the prompt that we're working with right now is, I had a hunch that blank, and I was right. So Jehovah Thickness says, I had a hunch starting of was going to go correctly. Sometimes you just got to see it through. I had a feeling that starting of, yeah. I had a hunch. Only friends. All right. I had a hunch my exes didn't love me for me, only what I provided. My exes didn't love me for me, only what I provided. And I was right. You were a utility. You were a utility. That doesn't feel great, right? That doesn't feel great. Someone anonymous says, I had a hunch that he loved me. He didn't need to say it. I had a hunch that he loved me. He didn't need to say it. Someone anonymously shares. Me too, anonymous. Rachel's like, I just want y'all to know I'm not anonymous. Everybody's like, not me, not it, not it. All right. So Rachel says, I had a hunch that yesterday was going to be amazing, and it was. I talked to both of my best friends. Go best friend. Go best friends. Awesome. Dorfy Dorf. In advance, I'm sorry. Okay, Dorfy Dorf. Let's see what we got. Samantha. Thank you so much for the like. So Miss says, I had a hunch that I'd get up late this morning. And I was right. All right. I gotta wait on this one. I can't share this one right now. DJ Prodigy is here. Just go ahead and take a couple deep breaths before we go on and share another one. Ramblings of God. Welcome in. It's nice to have you here this morning for Morning Journal. This is session number 227. We're talking about those hunches that came to be true. So, I had a hunch that G was a handsome devil with a soft, soothing voice to put me to sleep and take my anxiety away. And I was right. Okay, Anonymous. Okay. Cool. I mean, thanks, I guess. I don't know. I guess you need to say it with your chest, though. I mean, I want to know who I'm helping out here. All right. Tree. I had a hunch that I would be signed up for the marathon, even though I didn't want to do it. And I was right. Tree got voluntold to participate in the marathon. Tree's like, is that the same Anonymous that sent something out to me? So you got to make a choice. It's either G or me. Can't have both of us. Yeah. All right. Dorfy Dorf says, I gotta do what this requires. Dorfy Dorf has done it again, folks. So let's go with it. Here we go. Give us a little taste of Cage's Cafe, I guess. All right, with Dorfy Dorf. All right. I had a hunch you would escape. And look at that, I was right. I sneered at you while tapping my blade to your chest. You deserve this punishment. Now you shall have it. Cold death. Your escape. Oh, thank you, Dorfy Dorf. Sometimes you just got to lean into it and go with it, you know? That's where he wanted to take us, so that's where we went. All right. Hippie's got to go to work. I had a hunch they would rush the moment, and I was right. I had a hunch that they would rush the moment, and I was right. Rebecca says, we need the echo in the writer's room. Yeah, I guess we lose some of the functionality when we have the calls up. It doesn't give us the whole gamut of functions. When you have the calls open, you don't have those neat little pieces. All right, Miss Hippie, you have a great day. Thank you for being here. And Lar, welcome. So we're talking about hunches. So I think the thing about it, a lot of times we're not necessarily, we don't trust our intuition. We're not tuned in the way that we need to be. And one of the good things about having some structure is it kind of creates enough margin for us to explore those things that kind of pop up for us. I think that our clarity kind of emerges from silence. A lot of times we are busy trying to figure things out when the clarity emerges from silence. And the silence comes from the space and the time that you gain by simplifying things a little bit. Embracing the constraints and saying, well, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to do that part. And now I have a little space to kind of listen to myself. Somebody says, I want to make more room for play. I think we all need to make space for that. There's so many things that, so many ways that we can free ourselves. For sure. But we don't allow it. Right? Everything has to be so serious. So Rebecca says, I had a hunch he needed more than a hint. I was right. He needed more than a hint. You had to make it plain. You had to make it plain. All right. So I guess the degree to which we trust our, the more we acknowledge our intuition, the more it shows up for us, I think. All right. If we are ready, I'm more than happy to get ready to take us to the next prompt, the next piece of the conversation. But that's going to be something that is exclusively for our VIPs. Yeah. Our VIPs are going to get some bonus time this morning. So if you've been watching and listening, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, it's always nice to have you here. I don't know where we are this morning. I'm a little bit, frazzled. It's like that though sometimes. You still show up though, right? You still show up and you never know. It might just be, you might be off the whole time and clear and like hazy and fuzzy the whole time. And then there's just one part, there's one thing, one word that someone hears that like makes things a little better for them. And that makes the process worth it for me. So that's why I'm here. And I appreciate you for being here as well. And make sure that if you've made it to this point, then go ahead and leave us a rating and review on Spotify. I mean, if you listen to a whole show, you know what you think, especially if it's one like this that's a little bit different than the other things that you might see over there. And you like it enough to, okay, well, this is cool. Go ahead and subscribe, follow this, give us a rating, 5 stars preferably, to help us get found. Make sure that you subscribe to the Morning Journal newsletter. You can find the link in the show notes. And I look forward to seeing you again. Yeah, real soon.